Winter was coming to the island of Sodor. The morning ground was covered in crisp white frost. Thomas and Emily were both happily chuffing up and down the line. Thomas was enjoying pulling Annie and Clarabelle. He thought he was doing a grand job. But Emily had other ideas. She thought he could be doing an even grander job. So Emily decided to help Thomas by telling him what he was doing wrong. When she saw him puffing down the branch line, she cried out. Later, Emily saw Thomas by a bridge. He had stopped to take on water and was talking to some children. Said Emily. Said Thomas huffily. Said Emily cheerfully, and she puffed away. Thomas was cross. He loved talking to children and thought Emily was being a big bossy buffers. Annie and Clarabelle both agreed. Said Thomas. The next morning, a sleepy Thomas had to leave Tidmouth Sheds bright and early. He had to collect some freight cars from the quarry and take them to the docks. Later that morning, Sir Topham had arrived with a new weather report. Said Emily. So Emily puffed away to get her snowplow fitted. The workman fixed Emily's snowplow on in no time at all, and she set off to find Thomas. Emily was very happy. She was looking forward to telling him what to do. Thomas was taking on water at Matewaite Station. Emily pulled up in front of him. She blew her whistle, but Thomas didn't say hello. Grouched Thomas. She called. Thomas could hear what Emily was saying, but pretended he couldn't hear anything. He thought he was being very clever. So Emily tooted even louder again. She cried. Said Thomas. And he puffed away as fast as he could. Thomas delivered the freight cars to the quarry. Then he set off to collect cream from the dairy. Everything was going well, but soon the clear blue sky was eaten away by dark gray clouds. Said his driver, and he was right. Soon big flakes of white snow began to fall. Then the snow gathered into drifts and covered the tracks. Cried Thomas as his wheels began to slip. Snow fell all over the island. Emily cut safely through the drifts with her snowplow. Emily was right. Thomas was working harder and harder, but he had to go more and more slowly. Said his driver. Thomas pulled to a slow, sad stop by a signal box, and his driver went for help. It snowed and snowed. Thomas felt very cold and twice as miserable. Then he heard the sound of an engine. Thomas was really delighted until he saw who his rescuer was. It was Emily, she said. Thomas was still very cross. Said Emily. Emily and Thomas both chuffed into Tidmouth Sheds. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting. He did not look super happy. Said Sir Topham Hatt sternly. Thomas felt really bad. He didn't know it was Sir Topham Hatt who wanted him to wear a snowplow. Emily felt really bad too. She didn't like seeing Thomas in trouble. Said Emily. Boom, Sir Topham Hatt. Soon the work was finished, and Thomas was wearing a snowplow. Said Thomas. Said Emily. Even Thomas had to laugh.